What a few days in the professional wrestling world. It took a lot to not pod earlier than today. We could have, for sure. We could have absolutely turned the mics on early Sunday morning. Could have turned them on Monday. Could have turned them on Monday night. Could have turned them on Tuesday after watching Raw. But I was like, you know what? Let's just make sure all of our feelings and our thoughts still exist and stick by the time we're normally podding and dropping on Wednesday. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, my initial and my original thoughts are still 100% completely the same as they were at the end of Saturday night's main event.
The same?
The exact same. Welcome to the TFW podcast, episode 227. The best kept secret in wrestling podcast today. I'm your favorite talker out in these wrestling streets, Matt, joined by that beautiful woman right over there, Rhodesia.
Hey.
Rhodesia?
Yes.
What we doing? Are we going right into it? Do you want to build up to what everybody has been talking about in the wrestling world over the last 3 days and get there slowly, and we can talk about the beginning of Saturday night's main event and the pre-show and the thoughts and the feelings behind it? Or do you want to go right into the tap heard around the world? It is your decision.
Well, the peek behind our curtain, you told me that I probably won't even have 5 seconds to talk on this pod because of how you felt.
That's why I just gave you right now. That's why I gave you right now. Whatever you decide, the next time we hear from you will be at the 36-minute mark.
Let's start with the main event is Saturday's night main event. Still didn't say it right.
All right. So, unless you've been living under a rock, John Cena's retired. John Cena loses to Gunther on YouTube internationally, on Peacock domestically, loses to a tap out, to basically a rear naked choke. Mr. Never Give Up. Mr. I've made $532 million in merchandise sales on towels and t-shirts saying never give up, gives up to Gunther on a 1-week build with not one single promo from John Cena on WWE TV talking about this matchup. He taps out and gives up to somebody who is, by all accounts, going to be the next big bad heel in WWE. By all accounts, in my opinion, now we run with this, and he is the career killer. We know AJ is on the way out. He's made numerous conversations about wanting to retire next year. We'll get to their interaction on Raw in a bit. We know Brock Lesnar is looking to retire according to Cena next year, sometime in Minnesota. We know Chris Jericho's coming back to WWE. He's got to be gone pretty soon.
We know that.
We know Randy Orton is not much time left. We don't know how long. It won't be next year. So if they want to, they can make this a massive thing for Gunther. Great, got it all. Excellent. I've been seeing every single type of thought and opinion on this situation. And typically, this is one of those times where you say, hey, everybody got their own opinion, right? There is no right or wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you, if you thought that was the correct ending, you are wrong.
Ooh.
Without a shadow of a doubt, you are wrong. I don't want to hear about, well, typically you go out on your back. Well, typically, it's the time-honored tradition to put over the new young guy or girl. Well, typically, I don't want to hear anything about typicallys. This was the most untypical run for the most untypical top babyface probably in the history of wrestling. Now, for me, I said last week, I thought it didn't make sense for John Cena to lose. I even said I think it would be hilarious if John Cena tapped out to Gunther. Said it on last week's show. Difference is the execution. If you would have told me, hey, Matt, and if I woke up Saturday morning, you say, hey, just give you a heads up. Say I got a call from somebody in WWE Creative. Say Cena's tapping tonight to Gunther. You got to tune in. I wouldn't have been upset. I probably would have laughed and said, holy hell, I got to watch this. I am locked in.
Well, you said that it'd be funny if he tapped.
Said it would be hilarious. But it wasn't funny. Because of the execution of said spot. Yes, Cena losing, no problem. Cena losing to Gunther, no problem. Cena tapping, little bit of a problem. Cena tapping the way he tapped, massive problem. And the reason why is very simple for me. We get the Super Cena throughout the entire match. Match was great. Nobody's talking about the match, which tells you the finish was wrong. We can get to that later too. Great match. We get the Super Cena a little bit. We get the crowd chanting. Now this crowd is here. Those 18, 17,000 people are there. Singularity to celebrate John Cena's career and him. That is what they are there for. They are not there to see him wrestle Gunther. Because this match was only a week build to a tournament where we didn't get one promo from John Cena about wrestling Gunther in his last match. Gunther is the backdrop for this match. This match is all about celebrating John Cena and seeing John Cena one last time. Those people in attendance and the majority of people watching were all about seeing John Cena in his last match and celebrating John Cena. The pomp, the circumstance, the fireworks, the confetti, the promo at the end, saying thank you, WWE Universe. All of that. They are there for that. We don't get any of that. What we get is a great match. A great match. We get the arm Hogan spot where they don't even do the spot anymore. Now, if they check your arm and it goes down once, that's it. You're passed out. But we're going to do this the right way. We do the 1, 2, 3. Arm drops heavy. Number 1. Arm drops again. Number 2. Arm stays up and he throws up to 3. Never give up is what he does. Tries to fight back. Gunther hits him with those patented elbows to the face. John Cena is in the chokehold, smiles, and then gives you the weakest tap out that I have ever seen. Now, the tap out was not supposed to symbolize I am being choked out to death. It was supposed to symbolize I've given you guys all I have. I don't have any more to give. This is the way to go. I went out on my shield. That's not the biggest bullshit in the world of a finish of a run that was already, in some people's minds, a horrendous final run. Spoiler alert, Rhodesia, I'm going to ask you at the end of all this, what letter grade do you give this John Cena final run? Be prepared. This one was not looked at as a home run hitter. I think we all can agree from the promo before the week of SummerSlam to Survivor Series, it was a damn good run. All you got to do is stick the landing. All you have to do is stick the landing. And WWE botched the landing. If you are telling me they didn't, you are too smart for your own good. If you say, but Matt, Gunther, you got to make somebody after this. Okay, no problem. I could have come up with a better finish to that. As a matter of fact, let me come up with a really quick finish now. If we have to do the tap out, because what the tap out finish was more heat on WWE and Triple H, as you heard, than it was on Gunther. You would say, hey, Matt, did you watch Monday Night Raw where Gunther got all that heat? Absolutely. The crowd is playing along with it. It is what it is now. So now we know Gunther is that. This is how, if we had to have Cena go out, this is what we could have done. Cena's thing is never give up. What that teaches, and now you have to look at this in a situation of John Cena is a different type of wrestler than anybody else. Think about, he has given more Make-A-Wish wishes than anybody in history. Right? Guinness Book of World Records. Cancer patients. All up and down the board. His thing has always been never give up. What John Cena just taught everybody is, when you're at the end of the line, it is okay to give up. Oh, yeah, and John Cena is not coming back as a official participant and wrestler in WWE. We are going to see John Cena on WWE TV, of course. Seeing John Cena discuss this? Nope. That is the final images, is him tapping out in a way of reflection, but also the biggest one in a way of, it was my decision to tap out, to the guy who never gives up. I don't think that does what it should have done from Gunther. What you could have done is have Gunther pass him out. You get the shock of, oh my God, Gunther passed John Cena out. The heat is squarely on Gunther. Gunther leaves the ring after a little bit of showboating. Cena is still passed out in the middle of the ring. You wouldn't get one bullshit chant. Now the locker room clears and Cena starts coming back. He's starting coming back now.
Waking back up.
And he wakes up to everybody around the ring cheering him on. I'm getting goosebumps now. Then we get the Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, handing him the titles because you went out on your shield. You never gave up. Then we get the video package. Then we give John Cena a chance to speak to the fans one last time as an active wrestler to say whatever he's going to say. Guys, all I have to say is never give up, whatever that looks like. If you say, okay, Matt, but the thing is, the guy who never gives up has to give up. He's got to tap. No problem. If he has to tap, how about he taps in a way that he taps because I can't get out of this move. This guy has finally got me. And we do that spot 3 times. First time, he gets out of it. Second time, we do the arm thing. And the third time, it is just too tight. He's tried. He's done every single thing he can. He tries to stand up. He tries to put him in the AA. But Gunther still has his arm wrapped around Cena's neck. And then Cena taps out. The reason why they got such a nasty response, it was because of how Cena looked when he tapped. And they'll say, oh, that was the desired outcome that we wanted. The reaction of the fans. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. When you have your hard-paying fans who are spending hundreds and thousands of dollars for those tickets on the post-show chanting AEW at a WWE show, not the desired effect. Now, nobody's going to stop watching. And I'm sure actually there's probably somebody who, right, is just like, I'm fed up with this. I'm not watching anymore. It's in how you make your fan base feel. If they would have stuck the landing. Because also the other thing you could have done is this too. Could have had Cena won and Gunther goes on a tear because he couldn't beat John Cena. Now you know what my number one goal is?
To kill all these other people.
Retire all your favorites. Starting with AJ Styles.
Yep.
Or whoever. It does the same exact thing. But we got what we got. What I felt like, and I feel like, This reminds me a little bit of back in the day when Vince brought back ECW. And ECW, we were all excited for it. Had a one night stand pay-per-view, one of the best pay-per-views WWE has ever put on up to that point. It probably still holds up now. I haven't seen it in a long, long time. But anytime something great happened in WWE, something hardcore, something that was a little edgy, crowd would chant ECW, ECW, ECW. And I always said to myself, man, I'm sure Vince hates that because Vince didn't own ECW. Vince didn't create ECW. Paul Heyman owned and created ECW. Brought ECW back to kill ECW. ECW goes on the Sci-Fi Network, and it is one of the worst television wrestling shows you could ask for. All of a sudden, when something crazy happens, we don't get ECW chants anymore. We get holy shit chants now. And for me, this finish was Triple H's version of the streak ending with Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. Triple H got his Undertaker streak moment now. So now when we look back at the most shocking finishes of all time, we look back at what riled up the fan base more than anything else. Now, Undertaker Brock Lesnar is number 2. John Cena Gunther is now number 1 on every WWE list going forward. So for Triple H and WWE, from that perspective, mission accomplished. For the fan base, who just wanted to go out, and yes, we had 36 days to say thank you, Cena. That's what John Cena would say.
Mm-hmm.
But that night was supposed to be about celebrating Cena in the proper way, and we didn't get that, and he's not coming back to be celebrated in that context. Lastly, then Rhodesia, I'll give it to you. But you know John Cena signed off on it. You know if John Cena didn't want to tap, he wouldn't have tapped. You know this is what John Cena wanted. And that takes me to Cody Rhodes and why Cody reacted the way he reacted in the ring after. Shout out to Cody Rhodes. Shout out to Jackie. Got us our first million view tweet on Sunday. So the video's out there right as soon as the post show starts, and Cody's still at the ring. Joe Tessitore tells Jackie, go see if you can get a word from Cody. Like, why is he still out here? She goes over to Cody. And shout out to her, because I thought that was one of the best jobs an interviewer can do, because now this is all real life. Mm-hmm. There is no storyline. There is no work to this. Mm-hmm. And miss me with the Cody is always crying. Miss me with the Cody is always trying to have the attention on him. Miss me with the, Cody just needs to go into the back to go talk to Cena. If you have any of those type of feelings, that just tells me you got a lot of living to do still on a lot of different occasions. But everybody is entitled to their opinion. Cody gives the interview and he just says, he did it the right way, right? I'm going through a lot, and you have to think about what Cena did for Cody. You have to think about now Cody's the man. Cody's the guy now, right? Mm-hmm. He is the John Cena of this era. He knows the work it takes to get into that. It's over now. He also knows, Cena did not have to do that. In every world, you want to be celebrated to a certain extent. And I am sure Cody looked at that finish and said to himself, holy hell, even in his last moment, he still was putting people over him in that type of way. That's where a lot of that emotion came from.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have to do it. If John Cena did say, guys, I just need one more win. AA, we go home. We're getting to AA and we're going home. But just because John Cena wanted it doesn't mean it was right for the fan base. And this one they just got wrong. Is it life or death? No, it is not. But as I said on Sunday morning, if John Cena was to come out and give his explanation of why he did it, doesn't change the fact of anything I've just said in the last 15 minutes. For me, it may change a lot of people's thoughts. It's not changing the thought on me that they did not stick the landing. They had an opportunity to do something very special, still get Gunther over in the process. And those two scenarios I gave are super quick scenarios. If you gave me an hour to come up with something even better, I'm sure I can come up with something even better. where we give Gunther all the heat, but we have the people who want to see John Cena leave the correct way. Once again, even if he has to lose, we're going to get that to them. We're still talking about it. I think this is something that we're going to be talking about for a long time, Rhodesia, in the annals of sports entertainment and wrestling. And I love Cole's line, of course, of tonight, professional wrestling kills sports entertainment. Execution just wasn't there for me.
Thank you for yielding back 10 minutes to me to give my thoughts here. When I first saw how he went out, now let me backtrack a little bit. My initial feelings, I think, is very important to portray in my response here after everything you just said. But time removed actually gives you more clarity in actually your feelings. That's why we have to process things. People process. Some people process faster than others, slower than others, different than others. And I am happy that I've been able to process and have that time. I am nowhere near as angry and as mad as I was on Sunday morning, Saturday night. And that was a very important thing that you said, that they didn't stick the landing and they did not get the desired outcome that they should have gotten, because I shouldn't have been angry. This is John Cena's final match. Everybody's emotional. The entire world stood still for this moment. And then you give us that? I'm not against him tapping. I don't think I've ever said on the show if I wanted him to win or lose his final match. I don't really care. I just always thought that your final match, you have to go out on your back. I love, though, the whole thing when you said that Dom should have been his final loss. But whatever, we're here. I don't really care about the tap. What I care about, or what I did then and what I still do now, it was so premature. You hit the nail on the head as far as let it happen like 3 times to where you know there is no way that person can come out. No way at all. And when you did that, my only thing that I said leading up to his final match is just do right by John Cena. That was my only thing. Do right by John Cena. And they didn't, because when he tapped, all those so poetic, and I'll talk about that in a second. And when he tapped, I was angry. Not angry because I'm a mark or I fell for something. No, angry because you've given me 23 years of your life in performing. And this was the final moment that we're going to see. Forget that he didn't talk. Forget all of this stuff when Triple H came out and they booed him out the building. Forget all of that. I'm talking about just that one moment when everything stood still and he had that realization that he couldn't go anymore. That right there pissed me off and made me almost numb, only because, to your point, the only other time I've ever felt that way was when Undertaker lost and the streak was broken by Brock Lesnar. This time, because I guess I have some callus there, I wasn't as like sad and ready to cry and leave. No, I was more angry at this point. Now we fast forward a couple of days. I'm still very upset that he tapped prematurely. Tapping, okay with that. But it's the visuals now, because you know the saying that you had to be there or you weren't outside for that. People who didn't watch that or didn't have those same emotions that the majority of us had when that all transpired, when they go back and watch the videos and the production that they're doing of it, it is very beautiful. The slow-mo captions of his face and him realizing in that moment, you know what? I did all I could do. I mean, that's actually the feeling that I feel when I see that. It's almost like a dad tapping out to his little son, putting him in the chokehold. Just something to give extra confidence to the kid. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment because we did know he still has something to give. But you know what? Hey, there's nothing left for me to prove. And in that moment, that didn't make sense to me of why he did. After he got the belts and they had the Hogan moment of them, the champions, putting the belts on his shoulders, he just left. I'm a little bit better today as far as how beautiful that moment was, seeing it replayed on Raw, the whole video package of it. Now, I was really there. I was there with all the 23 years of emotion as well. And that's not how I felt in the moment. But as time has gone by, I'm okay with this. I'm still upset that they made him tap prematurely. Even if you did that whole poetic thing still thing, the whole, okay, I have nothing else to give. Just give me a little bit more. Just give me a little bit more submissions. Give me a little bit more beatdown of John Cena before you did that. Other than that, I think I can move on from this. I know a lot of people are like, oh, y'all so stupid. Why y'all didn't think that this was going to happen? Or some people's like, oh, F y'all, I can't believe this. And then you have the what you call those, people who are like, they hate each other, rivalries? What'd you call them? No, AEW, tribalism people.
Okay.
They coming in out of nowhere. Like, first off, stop. You don't even like this product. You don't even watch this product.
Allegedly,
you don't talk.
but you know everything that happened. Right? Oh, this was the worst run in the history of runs, and I can't believe it. And you go on and you look, you're like, you never made any mention of even watching any of this run.
Yeah.
But
so
all of a
stay
sudden,
out of this.
yeah,
We
don't wanna hear
gatekeeping
from
our
you.
feelings here. Yeah, we don't want to hear
we don't wanna
anything from you.
Yeah.
But I think I'm okay with it. And I think I have to be okay with it because at the end of the day, John Cena was okay with it. He did what he was either told to do or what he wanted to do. It could be both. So at that point, I still feel they let him down. I did. That was super, super premature. But I think I can get on past this because of kind of what we saw then on Raw and now this evolution of Gunther, which I didn't think he needed. I still don't think that he needed this win over John Cena. But I think now having some kind of reference point to when Brock ended the streak and what his career had did for all of the other talent that he fought against, putting over Roman. Like, I don't think maybe necessarily Roman could have been as big as he is today without some of them touchings with Brock. So I think I'm able to sit a little bit better knowing like that was the end and that was the finality. Overall grade though for his final run.
Nope, not yet. We're not there yet. Yeah.
Okay,
so
I'll cut that out.
So I don't want to speak for you, but I don't think what you're really feeling and what you felt was you needed more submission time. It goes back to the execution in the tap. The tap came across as I'm relegating to tapping to end this. That's why the crowd shit on it as bad as they did. Because the tap looked more of like I'm tapping to do Gunther a favor. That's what it came across at. In the scope of this wrestling match, nobody in the world taps the way he tapped. You only tap because you're about to pass out, or because there's a body part on you that is about to snap, or because you're in so much pain, I have to give up. He didn't tap for any of those reasons. And then the other part that made no sense, if this is what we're going with, Gunther makes Cena tap, rolls off of him, and Gunther is surprised and asks the ref, did he tap?
Yeah.
If this is about putting all this heat on Gunther, shouldn't he got up and shouldn't he smirked and done all that initially?
No, because he knew that wasn't it. That's the point I'm saying, that it was premature. He knew it too. He's like, wait, hold on. I've wrestled enough. I know that this wasn't all that John Cena had to offer to tap. So I think they actually executed that believable factor there, Gunther's reaction, actually really good. They nailed it because no one there thought that was the end of John Cena.
If this was a different build, and say we knew about this match 3 weeks ahead, a month ahead, month and a half ahead, and we got the promos, and we even leaned into, this is why I say it was just the execution. I made the comment about they're in Washington, D.C., nation's capital in United States of America. What does Cena do every time he comes out? Salutes. My God, is it there to put even more heat on this? Cut the promo of we are in the nation's capital. I have spent my life loving America and saying our armed forces is the best armed, whatever, right? I'll do that whole thing. And you think you're going to make me tap? You got another thing coming, Jack. Old John Cena, over the top John Cena, doing the whole thing. And then if he taps, it feels different. You didn't get the response you wanted because it didn't make sense in the totality of what you presented to us over the last 7 to 10 days. To waste, and I'm going to say waste, to waste a tap on a non-build, I think is a catastrophe. I think it's a slap in the face to wrestling fans. Now, you made a comment about Gunther. We know they're going to utilize Gunther, and this is going to catapult him into another area, hopefully. Gunther is not a top name in WWE, meaning when I say that, he's not selling out arenas, he's not selling out stadiums because of his name alone, right? That's Cody, that's Punk, that's Roman. You may even want to put Jay in that instance right now. People are paying to yeet. Hopefully now you're going to get people to pay to boo Gunther. I don't really know if that was happening before, because everybody loves Gunther. Unless you are just a strictly storyline person where you get wrapped up so much and you kind of believe this stuff is real at times on television, I think that's the only people who really don't like Gunther.
Yeah.
Let me take that back. Because there were some people in our comments. Shout out to all of our YouTube listeners and watchers, our podcast listeners and watchers. Hey, if you are watching on YouTube, I need you to like and subscribe. Okay, we need that. We are still on the march to 1,000 subscribers, but getting a lot of viewers, which I appreciate, but not getting the likes. And the likes and the subscriptions are what helps the algorithm push our content to more people. So hey, if you like what you are getting, represent for us. But I was getting some comments surrounding, the first problem was it shouldn't have been against Gunther. Gunther's old. Gunther's not old. Okay.
Let's real quick. I still feel like maybe Gunther didn't have to be. Again, we only had 1 week for this. If you had enough time, because he'd been saying 3 years ago he knew that this was coming up, so he had like a whole year and a half of prepping and stuff. I think someone really could argue that Gunther should not have been his final opponent. But continue.
But the great thing about Gunther being his final opponent, one, Gunther is fantastic.
He's a bad guy.
Gunther
he is
fantastic.
a bad guy. A bad guy. And that's hard to come around in today's age.
You build all of that equity with Gunther. I've already mentioned. Now let's go ahead and retire Brock Lesnar. Let's go ahead and retire Chris Jericho. Let's make this a thing. And then when Gunther finally wrestles the next big thing, whoever they're going to have pegged, I don't know if that's going to be Femi. I don't know if that is going to be Braun Breaker. But whoever they peg as being the next big one, you give all of that equity to that next person. So this finish is absolutely going to make Gunther a bigger name, and is absolutely going to help the person who beats Gunther absolutely rocket them into superstardom. My only thing is the execution of it was not good. Dare say, I think the execution of it was really bad. Even down to your point about Monday Night Raw, they show the video package, tremendous video package. It was.
If you weren't there, you'd be like, "Oh my god,
yep.
This was amazing!"
Tremendous video package. But this is John Cena coming off of his retirement run, where we're only here to celebrate John Cena. You can look at some of the reactions from the wrestlers until it was like, I don't know about this. But hey, this is what they went with. We're going to, of course, live with it. I would have done things differently. Of course, as we just talked about over the last half hour, I think Rhodesia would have done things a little bit differently.
Absolutely.
So they didn't. So now we are at Monday Night Raw, Monday. Of course, you got to start with Gunther. And I really like the opening segment. I really liked, of course, Gunther. And shout out to, I don't know if it was a Heyman call. I don't know if it was a Triple H call. But whoever it was, kudos to them. You start with Gunther. Get the heat out. Acknowledge it. And now it's over. We turn the page on Saturday night. And the next thing they do is bring out Jey Uso. You go from the lowest low for the crowds to the highest high. That was tremendous, because if you start with something else, there could be a hangover in the crowd surrounding how bad people felt about Gunther beating John Cena. So I thought that was a tremendous call. The only thing I would have done different in the initial 15 minutes of Monday Night Raw was, and I know they had to bring a little bit of levity because if they didn't bring the levity, the backstage segment wouldn't have come off like it did. You know, he passes, Kazawa and Otis. That's a little bit of levity. He passes other people. Then we get the AJ part, and he's doing the "You Can't See Me." He's in the joking mood now. But I would have loved for him just to stand there and take 7-8 minutes of heat, and then hit the line. I think his line was something about
I made
I
your
made
bitch
John Cena
ass
tap like a little bitch, right? He
Oh,
didn't.
okay,
He's
there
not
you go.
black, so he definitely didn't say bitch
I
ass.
didn't-
Okay, he didn't say bitch ass. He's not black. And I think he said something like, I made him tap like a little bitch.
Yeah, that's what he said. There we go.
After you hit that line, exit stage left.
Mm-hmm.
Leave
I agree.
on that type of heat. But he left, and then he came back, and he did his victory lap. He got on top of the announce table again. Then he hits the line again. Once again, I think that was built into, because if you leave on that line, the backstage interactions feel different. But I would have loved that. Similar to when Roman beat Taker and came back the next night, and for 12 minutes straight, the crowd's
Get
booing. And the
booed.
only line he says is, "This is my yard now," and he leaves. I would have liked something like that. But the John Cena run is over, Rhodesia.
Mm-hmm.
Letter grade. From January 6th or 5th, or whatever day that was on that Raw show, to this past Saturday, what are you giving his grade? And just for fun, if the ending would have went the way you wanted it to, whatever that ending was on Saturday night's main event, what would the grade have been?
To be clear, January 6th, that was when he sold his soul, or is that when The Rock came back?
No, that was the first Raw on Netflix where he showed up.
Right, and that's when you said from January until now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give John Cena's final run an overall a D. D like dog boo-boo. Dog shit. D. You can't get me hype with the whole selling my soul and all this and that, and it didn't execute. I don't care who were involved, who was not involved. TKO having Rock do this and bring more attention to sell out an arena, a stadium show. All of that, right? Still, at the end of the day, I cannot forgive what happened at Wrestle, or what did not happen with Selling Souls, John Cena and The Rock and all that at WrestleMania. That would have gave it an F. But because he went on his greatest hits world tour and brought everybody else up with them, brought some nostalgia acts together, that brought that a grade letter F up to a D. Saturday's night main event. So the answer is D. After Saturday's night main event, it's still a D. So I don't think if they would have.
So what's the, if Cena would have won or whatever you wanted the ending to
The only
be?
thing I said was make that tap more believable. It was premature.
Then whatever you would want it to have been, what is his now final run grade? Because that would have to
would have
change
been a
it,
D.
because
No, I don't think so.
So either
Because
way,
I
you
just
would have
told
had it as a D, no matter
Yes.
what.
Yes, because at this point right now, I had told you a few days from now, from the incident, I feel different about it now. So today, asking me today, I would still say that it was a D.
Wow.
You passing, you still pass the grade, but you can't get past that. Now you look at him as in totality, he still has an A. He was taking like college classes while he was in school. That's the reason why his GPA was so high. He still has no one has ever done this before. So John Cena still is going to be that North Star there. He's still going to have an A for his career in general. But this last year from January to December, it's a D. It's a
give it a
D.
D. Okay. Yeah, I'm not that harsh. Just because I came out and I believe it. Our show after SummerSlam, where I said the entire failed heel run was worth it because of when the lights hit at SummerSlam. From his black John Cena background, and then when the music drops, the lights for the first time on this whole thing, and just the reaction he got from running down to the ring. I said the failed heel run was worth it just for that moment. And then you look at after that match, which was tremendous. We got so many great moments. We got the AJ Styles moment. even before that, CM Punk moment, him and Orton, going head to head one last time. It wasn't the best television, but we still got that moment. We still got that closure as fans. We got the Dom at Survivor Series, which was tremendous. We got him winning his IC title on Raw in New York City, Madison Square Garden. For me, I give it about a C minus.
We're not too far off.
If they would have had stuck the landing on Saturday night's main event, a lot of the failed decisions before he turned back babyface, and we don't appreciate the babyface run at the half end of the year if we didn't have the failed heel run at the beginning of the year. He could have gotten, for me, into the B- territory, B-, B+, because we are finishing his run talking positively about what we saw and what we got, opposed to double thinking and having revisionist history on what should have been for his last match in a run that is absolutely polarizing. Did his run elevate talent? 100%. Was his last run a success? The answer is 100% yes. Probably in any metric you look at, if it was successful, yes. If it was entertaining, if it was the, I'm not even gonna say closure, because we got closure. I think we all got closure from it. But Saturday left way more to be desired than it should have, especially because we had 36 dates. We should have all left and said, you know what? We are good to go. And unfortunately, a lot of people walked away from Saturday night's main event saying that was the wrong call.
I feel like you're definitely grade on a curve for him, because the most meaningful things that happened this year with John Cena and John Cena character, they've completely bombed it in the bad way. So there's no way, if you get an F for the final match, you get an F for the heel turn. Prior to the early days of John Cena, he has been a good guy. So
Who
again,
gets
the whole
F for the final match? Never said that. Final match was
the outcome.
Great.
Sorry, the finish of the final match. Correct. His last match was great. The finish of it. But we talk about this all the time, that the work leading up to the finish could be stellar, but the ending is awful. People won't necessarily remember how stellar the beginning is. It's just that finality there. It's like, ugh. So they did not, the finish was enough. So that was the most meaningful thing, his final moment of being an active wrestler. In his first turn, his heel turn. This was like the first time he was a bad guy in forever. So you talking about the...
I did think it's funny seeing some of the wrestlers go on social media and say like, tapping doesn't mean you give up. That's pretty cool.
Well, because it actually is exactly what tapping is.
That's absolutely what
exactly.
you did. You tapped out. You gave up. And unfortunately, for anybody who is trying to get really psychological and physiological, how you say what's the other word? Physiological? I don't think that's a word, but you guys know what I mean when I say it. Anybody who feels that way, unfortunately, John Cena.
There we go. Philosophical. There we go.
Unfortunately, John Cena is not here to do a rap end of career promo to explain why he tapped the way he did.
And that's another thing. Like, I know that they had probably said it on commentary, where this whole thing that came up, the notion that you meant about like why he tapped out. But you're right. He hasn't verbally said to us in the totality, like in the general public, of why he tapped. So to me, those people who drew those conclusions is based off of, like you said, something else that they drew into it. If you're taking this for face value, for what it is, we are supposed to know that he tapped because he couldn't go anymore. That means give up.
They said, no, he's not tapping because he gave up. He's tapping because he let go. All right, man. Hey, shout out to the legend, Jeff Jarrett. Legend in wrestling.
What he did.
But Jeff tweeted Sunday morning, right message, wrong messenger, Mr. Jarrett. You're the reason why I didn't watch TNA back in the day, because you were on top and you were beating like everybody who was better than you. But Jeff Jarrett said, I love watching movies when the superhero gets destroyed in the final scene and then dies. Even better is when my favorite sports team not only gets beat, but gives up with a smile on their face. Makes me feel good about spending time and money on the night. Palm face emoji, creative is subjective. I 100% agree with that. Though, because once again, it's the execution. The tap is the tap is the perfect analogy of your favorite basketball player, LeBron James. Say if LeBron James, he says, this is my final year. And say LeBron James can go out and win a championship. Game 7. Game is tied. 120-120. And he is going one-on-one with Detroit and Cade Cunningham.
Hey,
And with 3 seconds left, he allows Cade Cunningham to intentionally run past him to the basket for a layup.
Ooh.
And he just smiles and tells Cade, you got it. And he walks off the court. This is the same as if this is football. And we got whoever, Patrick Mahomes, right? 7 years from now, Patrick's got a chance to win one more ring than Tom Brady. 3 seconds left on the 5-yard line. He has a wide open wide receiver. He throws the ball right into the dirt.
That's called legal gambling.
He smirks and he just walks off into the tunnel.
That's gambling on sports, actually.
So he's messing up somebody's parlay, right?
Yep.
This is that, which is why you got that type of response. You're not getting a bullshit chant if Gunther just taps Cena out. You're not. So,
but I like that message. But see, you reading that with Jeff Jarrett, that also could have been taken as sarcasm. I guess you just got to know Jeff Jarrett, right, to know his intentions there. Because I could read it as something as sarcasm.
But to your point surrounding the run, I disagree in terms of you say, he'll run
the meaningful moments of this year.
What I would say is the reason why it was way more positives than negatives. We got the John Cena heel turn. No matter how it turned out, we got it.
Nah.
At least you tried. At least now we saw what John Cena as a heel looked like. We are never going to go into a what if John Cena would have turned heel in that last run. No, we got it. We also got just the moments of who he put over. The rub with Dominic goes a long way. The rub with Gunther is going to go a long way. We got him and CM Punk again. We got CM Punk using the word life thugonomics gimmick in a promo segment on television with John Cena. That was worth it. Like there's more moments in this run that was worth it than not worth it. It was just the execution of the heel turn. We didn't like it. The whole ruin wrestling, and he talked about it on the interviews. His thing was going to make wrestling boring. So that's res holds, if whatever that is. I'm taking everything away that you enjoy. And then he said the crowd responses weren't dictating that.
Yep.
We were there in the building for SmackDown or Raw after he won the championship for WrestleMania, and the crowd wanted to do nothing but cheer John Cena. Crowd wanted to do nothing but cheer John Cena at WrestleMania for the most part. And so they pivoted away from it. They're like, okay, well, if the crowd is cheering, we can't just completely go against the grain here and make it seem like we don't hear them cheering. So we can't do the whole ruin wrestling thing. Because you remember, that was what they kept saying. John Cena's going to ruin wrestling. He's going to ruin wrestling. So, I mean, there are things that, of course, I'm sure they wish they could have had back. But overall, successful run. Could have been better. Like I said, I give it a C-. I would have moved it up to a C plus B- if we would have got what we wanted at the end of Saturday Night's Main Event as a fan base. But the other part of this that is 100% is everybody's talking about it. There ain't a person who feels like, and turned it off and kept it moving. Either you wholeheartedly agree or you wholeheartedly go against it. So, and that
I
itself was
want
mission
to,
accomplished.
before we leave this, I want to just kind of mention like when I talk about the processing, it takes time to process and stuff. It was kind of gnarly to see the people that was in attendance go from like shitting on it and crapping on it, and then in real time realizing, wait, hold on. I don't want to do it too much because I don't want it to make it seem like we're doing this at John Cena. You know what I'm saying? Like the message that we were trying to portray was against Triple H in the final decision of the booking, and then they had to course correct themselves to still try to represent Cena. I thought that was pretty gnarly to see because those were like my emotions too, and I'm like, boo, F you, suck my. But then it's like, wait, hold
Yeah.
on, what are we
I
doing here?
mean,
Like,
even, he's down, I think he's down on his knees, I think, after the tap. Right? And the crowd is chanting bullshit.
yeah,
And he gets up, and you can see, this goes back to them trying to say they got the desired reaction. No, they didn't.
it didn't.
You could see in
He
Cena's
had explained.
eyes, right? That was
Mhm.
not what he thought they were going to get.
And he said, I gave my all, is what he said.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's not the thing,
Mhm.
right? It was just how you did it. That's all.
But that was
That's
gnarly
you
to
did it.
see.
I would love to hear from everybody who was watching or listening. Hit us up on socials, reply in YouTube, wherever. What were your thoughts? And what's your letter grade for Cena's final run? Because it's over. It is over now. As he said in one of the interviews, nobody cares. So you move on. And now, all eyes are on the Royal Rumble, kind of a thing. So it's a wrap. But I would love to hear everybody else's thoughts on grade and just what side are you on? Did the
He had a
finish
premonition.
work and make sense, or did it not? I guess the next big topic from Monday Night Raw, our guy Austin Theory.
So I didn't think we were going there with Austin Theory. I like his look. I think that he looks like he can be like a vicious bad guy. Vicious probably is not the word to use for Austin Theory, but you get what I'm saying. Is a more edgier bad guy. Because before he was like he was a cutie pie before, so he'd be like kind of the opposite of that. The contrast there. I still am not believing that the second time we saw him, he was a black man, but now he's back to being Austin Theory. So I like to know, like, if they were trying to figure out, or if there's more people coming into the vision, but there's no way that was looked like Austin Theory the first time, for sure. Second time was not Austin Theory, and then the third time, of course, Austin Theory.
They did that to throw you people off. That
Okay,
think you know
fine.
everything and trying to figure it out. Yeah, so
Then don't get a black man like that looked like
No,
a
let's do
straight black
that.
man.
So no, hey, because it could be Montez Ford.
He looked like him.
Hey, let me tell you something. Until Montez Ford unblocks me on X, his career is going to be what it is.
Oh, yo.
How about that? Tired of being nice. I'm tired of being humble.
Tired of being humble.
Just for me saying the truth in the most respectful way possible.
It really was for sure. No, Austin Theory. I'm excited for this. I believe either you and I, or maybe you, Matt, and I had this conversation. This might be it for Theory. Like he's had these bursts of runs, pushes, I guess they would say, where he should be probably doing better than what he is. I don't know if John Cena blackballed him and then put a bug or a seed in somebody's ear or in his ear, or if he's actually just doing something. But I feel like for Austin Theory, he has an opportunity to make something really good out of this. You're going to be under Paul Heyman. I'm excited for what this is to bring. I'm not going to deny that part at the back of my mind that it's going to fall flat, just like Austin Theory of the past and all his other versions of himself. But this is a new grouping, again, under under Paul Heyman. I'm excited for it. What did you think? I guess when you saw it, that they already showed his face that quick. I mean, or maybe I'm saying quick. You may not felt that it was quick at all.
Because at one point I thought we would get the reveal with Braun and Punk.
Yeah, January 5th-ish. Yeah.
Yep, I sure did. But, and this is the thing, typically in wrestling, especially in WWE, if you just pay attention, they'll tell you where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody may say, "Oh, Matt, what the hell were you just talking for the last 50 minutes about?" Just Gunther came out and cut a promo last Monday saying he's going to make Cena tap out.
And he did.
But I digress. Earlier in the show, we had a segment with Pierce and Heyman where Pierce said, dude, I need nobody in tonight. Who's the masked man? Okay, well, we got it.
Yeah.
Right. So when he took the mask off, for me, I was like, okay, now it's time to go, young man.
Yeah.
Right. I'm high on Theory. I've been high on Theory. I wasn't high on Theory when he was Vince's like token guy, where he had the golden egg and that was the whole thing. That was not the spot for him. They was pushing him way too hard, way too fast, way too strong. But I rock with Theory from back in Evolve, before Evolve was Evolve that people know of it now, when it was Independence. And he was the top guy along with Priscilla Kelly as his manager. I was high on him then. I'm like, he's got it, man. He's got something there. And say what you will, either hey, he should be a babyface because he's not what he's been portrayed. He's with Heyman now. I would just tell people, be careful with when he starts losing matches to say that he's being buried. That's not the case. Every heel faction needs somebody to take the pin when you have a lot of heavies around you. And part of the reason why the vision hasn't been up to snuff and it started getting there right before Seth went out is because everybody has to stay strong. Look at Judgment Day. You're always going to have one person. You take any major faction in the history of professional wrestling, if it's done correctly, you gotta have the one person who's going to get the heat put on them. And they're losing, right? Where Braun Breaker's at, he can't take losses on weekly TV. Bronson Reed can't take losses on weekly TV. Seth Rollins is damn sure going to take weekly losses on weekly TV. Insert Austin Theory. He's going to be the one that can take the losses, but they get the heat again to protect himself for it. And like I said, he's with Paul Heyman. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for him. We'll see what he is, what he does. I'm excited to hear his first promo. The reasoning behind it. That's what I'm looking for. So
you like his look?
I'm happy. I do. Yeah, I do. It's completely different than what it was before.
Yeah, he was a pretty boy before. That was the word I was looking for. He was a pretty boy before. So even, I guess being a bad guy, pretty boy is cool because you can have that stigma about you, like I'm better than you kind of thing. But not like that. I like the buzz cut. I think it's the edgier side that we'll need to be able to see out of him.
For sure. The other thing I wanted to bring up is a few things from Raw, but I really enjoyed Raw. I thought Raw was really, really good. The CM Punk promo.
Bingo. That's where I was hoping you were going first.
The CM Punk promo. Now let's backtrack really quick. Before that, I talked about the promo segment with Pierce and Heyman. Before that, there was a promo segment in the locker room with the Vision, and they accomplished so much in that 2.5 minute promo segment. They explained to us in that promo segment why Braun Breaker is not going to attack CM Punk tonight. Because common sense would be, Punk has not been here for 2 weeks. Braun Breaker was talking cash money for the last 2 weeks on what he was going to do to Punk in January. And if he shows up, he'll show his face, this and that, and this and that. Braun Breaker is a dog animal. Nobody can reel him in. We have to explain why then CM Punk can even make it, because he's here tonight. And why is Braun Breaker not going to jump CM Punk, where CM Punk doesn't really have backup? And they did a masterful job. Heyman just said, look, if you get your hands on him, he's not going to make it until January, and you're not winning the championship. Boom, beautiful.
I love that.
But
I love that.
Everybody had their role in that backstage segment that really pushed everything forward and whatever they were doing for the night or for the future. I love that. But Punk does real right, man. He does. And that's why he's a legend. That's why he's one of the GOATs. And this is one of those moments where I talk a lot about when wrestling is real. A lot of people won't recognize just how real wrestling is. That promo, that Punk cut, he went in. And everything was in between the lines. He didn't go out of bounds. He didn't go into business for himself. But Braun, kid, you're going to have 2 weeks. Promos on each show, not going to be interrupted. You get your time. Just know
I'm gonna
I'm
retaliate.
gonna cut a promo after. And boy, did he ever. That's the stuff that I really enjoy, is when you get moments like that, that if you don't know, once again, somebody's looking at it like, oh, CM Punk got him. Oh, nice. But if you know, you're like, Bron, yep, he got you. Right? Because you had two weeks to my 1 week. And I kind of chewed you up and spit you out. You held your own, but still got a ways to go if you're thinking about boxing with me on the microphone. That was a cool moment.
No, I get on here and I get overly critical on CM Punk on pretty much everything that he does, but especially on the promos. And there's times where I tell you that it feels like, because he is maybe speaking from the heart or off the top of the brain, that it feels sometimes, where are we going here? You got lost, or I think that was a word you used before, that him getting lost in his promo. But when it hits right, it hits right. Like, that was probably one of the best promos I've seen just in general in a very long time, and definitely one of CM Punk's probably best ones. And it also was the emotion that he evoked too as he was relaying it. The camera work that was done. It seemed like at least Raw, I noticed a couple of camera shots that they did throughout Raw that was a little bit different than what I've been noticing before. Don't know how long it's been going on, but just showing that extra passion and being more in the camera, that to me was just like, bravo, Punk. This is probably why I am so critical of him all the time when he has one that lands flat for me, because I know what he can do and what he can produce off the top of his head. But the stuff like with the Steiner math, calling him out, like the one thing about Punk that I'll give him props for, since he's been a saved Punk, is that he has a way of bringing in other talent. He actually even did that in AEW too for a moment. Like every time he had a promo, somehow he brought somebody else into to
What
put
the hell
them
is
over.
Save Punk?
Saved Punk, like the
What
good
is
guy
that?
Punk, like the good guy Punk, the second run of Punk. Before, when he left, then he took his ball and went home because he was beat up and hit a brick wall. Then he came back and
So
he's
it's like
like
Devil
the Save
Punk
Punk.
when you did that?
No, I'm not gonna call nobody a devil. I'm just
I
calling him
mean,
Save Punk.
that's when
So
somebody
Save
say they're
Punk.
saved, they typically like give their life to God, right? So that means that I'm
Yeah.
guessing they did before that. So he was Devil Punk.
I
Now
don't
you're saying
know.
he's God Punk.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that Save Punk. So nice Punk. Is that better?
Okay.
But he's had a really great way of bringing other people into the conversation, and it takes a skill to be able to do that too, that be able to bring something else in. But I just like the lines of the whole, it's while we speaking about dimes, you never mention her name ever again, or you do, I'm killing all of y'all. Like, just how clever
I was
with
like, man,
words
Punk
he is.
swear he me. Every chance he gets to put over his
He
wife, he
putting
gonna put him
over
over. I'm like, when he heard that line, I was like, touche, Punk. You swear you me, though. You know what I'm
which is
saying?
true. And then calling Logan a YouTube scammer. Yo, that was it. I think at that point I was like, okay, you know what? For the rest of the year, I won't talk nothing about you, Punk, even though I got a couple weeks left. But I'm like, after that, I'm like, bravo. But I want to ask you.
Speaking of Logan Paul,
Yeah.
I got updated thoughts about Logan Paul.
Go ahead, give it to me.
And he had to go fuck around and actually wrestle. So then my thoughts kind of like changed again. Before the match with Rey Mysterio, I was ready to come out and say, hey, updated thoughts about Logan Paul. He has gotten, I'm starting to see it now that he's on weekly television. It's not just match. You know what I mean? It's not just the I'm better than you promo that we get, and then we don't see him for 3 weeks, and then we get the match, and then we get all the bells and whistles with it. So I'm starting to see more from him. But it's like, yo, that match was not good with Rey. And it wasn't Rey Mysterio's fault.
But I guess this is, we talk about this with wrestling, we talk about this in regular life, the repetition, it takes time. So you may be onto something that we're finally starting to see a different side of Logan. And I think that has always just been your criticism and my criticism when it comes to wrestling, not his personal life. Wrestling with Logan is that we've seen this. Something else has to change. We've been seeing this for ever since you've been here in WWE. Like, let's see something different. So him evolving more, there's going to be times where it's not going to look as clean or it's not going to look as good because he has to go through these reps. So do it with somebody like a Rey. And like I say, when I saw that match, I was like, okay. that wasn't like
Yep.
the best at
Yep.
all. But I think you need those. You need some of those. Could be a humbling moment, maybe when he watch it back. If he's that type that watches matches back, he might say, "Ooh, that didn't look good. Now I have to do something else to go improve myself." Or improve myself. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with most matches that aren't super choreographed and beautifully dance partners. Like sometimes it needs to be a little gritty. It has to that's how you build and grow in some of those failures.
Yeah. He'll be fine. Right.
Yeah.
Like but I do want to give him a little bit of kudos because I'm seeing some progression for sure weekly and just what he's doing, backstage segment, what he's doing in the ring, things of that nature. It was just funny because the match happened and it was like, oh, okay. So
I had originally, before I mentioned Logan Paul talking about Punk, I had originally was going to ask you a question and have my feelings dead set in my response, but as your view is changing on Logan, my view here is changing. At first, I was gonna say this whole CM Punk championship run has just been non-meaningful. I'm not gonna say garbage because again, I hadn't been watching long enough since the moment he won the title to say if it was garbage or not, and all the other distractions that was happening, like Cena's final match and such. Um, but I was gonna come on here and say that how do you grade CM Punk's championship run so far right now? What do you think about it? But then I kinda thought to myself that I think his reign is going perfect because I think he's going to drop the championship to Braun, and
Ooh.
and I think that we talked about transitional champions a couple episodes ago, and what better way of putting over somebody and protecting the prestige of that championship belt too, than to lose it and drop it to Braun. Now, maybe not January 5th. Maybe something happens and maybe there's another match that happens after that because January 5th is like 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away. But I see why CM Punk got the championship because my whole thing was like, why do you even give Punk a championship? Like he didn't need a championship. Like to me, I didn't understand it. And I remember you and me was like, oh no, when he won it was cool, people were happy and blah blah blah. But I think it was just to be able to now, when it's time for Braun to win it, he should win it from somebody like a Punk, and that is like another way of giving somebody the rub or putting them in a higher light.
You were just so hard on. It's funny just how your thought. I'm just pulling up just to make sure I'm right. Yeah, like it's funny. Like you were just really hard on some people.
Yeah, but I've admitted it. I've so
Well,
admitted
yeah. I
it.
mean, just because I don't know what you would expect from the CM Punk run. He won it on Saturday Night's Main Event, which was November 1st. You expect him to be working weekly matches on television? No, he's in the feud with the biggest heel group in WWE right now, which is the Vision. He was off TV to sell the injuries from War Games.
Okay.
Like,
So but what I'm saying is not factually incorrect. He's still kind of had like a boring championship run so far. He hasn't really done much. But like you said, there are reasons why that's the case. And I guess I can appreciate when a War Games will take somebody out for some time, which they should, just like how LA Knight is gonna be out for some time indefinitely, as he should. You got beat up and tore down. But I would admit when I'm hard on somebody. And I'll tell you a
yeah.
lot of times that I don't even know why this is the case. They haven't really done anything that on TV or anything to me personally for me not to like them. It's just our feelings. All this is subjective.
Speaking of hard, do you want to tell the listening public about Chafing Row?
First off, don't call me that second name. And it's not even nice that you said that, and you're about to do this here on air right now. Like, it was actually chafing, for starters. If you're gonna say something, if you gonna put my business out there like that, you would at
Uh-huh.
least say what it really was. And I was saying chafing. And I
Okay.
could tell every time I said it, and I've been saying it my entire life or my entire time that I ever knew what chafing was. And
Mm-hmm.
I could just feel the eyes from you and little Matt looking at me like, what the hell is she talking about? Chafing. Like, I know mom always saying something's wrong with her, but chafing, chafing, until you had to correct me that it's actually, what is it?
I just said it.
Chafing.
Go look down on your thighs and ask your thighs. So what is it right now with you? And then see what it says. It's chafing and roll. Shout out to Matt for calling you chafing and roll.
No, don't call me
I died
wrong.
laughing when you said that. So we're walking because we walk everywhere here in Spain. And we're excited to share, like, we're going to do, of course, a full podcast on reasons why we moved and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's still coming. We just didn't, like, forget all that, but we got a whole plan for that. So stay tuned for that. But so we walk everywhere we go, which is fantastic. You don't have to have a car. Get your, outside and beautifulness and all that kind of stuff. So we're walking,
air.
and
I was looking bad,
like,
too.
like,
I was so happy, my new outfit.
Yeah, like, man, my thighs is hurting. I don't like that too much. And that's what we started with. Then it ended with her walking in a 0.5 mile per hour with her legs completely away from each other. So she's walking like
a penguin, like.
Yeah, chafing row. And then she comes home and she's got like this like magic Filipino liquid.
Okay, it's called effervescent oil.
Whenever
anybody
something's up,
who's Filipino,
right? Just like in like the black households,
Vicks.
whenever
Vicks
you were
Vapor
sick,
Rub.
you got like Vicks and you got Verner's ginger ale, right? Those were the two things. No matter what you had, that's what you use to take care of it. So Filipinos got this green liquid
called effervescent oil,
right? So she's like, I'm gonna put some like the Filipino voodoo on my leg when I get back home. I was like, you do what you gotta do, right? Because it's for like scrapes and bruises and such.
It's for everything, so actually. When you read on it, it's for everything.
She proceeds to scream in terror about how much it burns. And I'm like, it's burning so much. I smell like her skin burning, but I no sell it and I go to sleep. Because like, if your thighs are hurting, you got to figure that out. Chafing roll. I like that though. Shout out to Chafing roll. She's good now though.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm real good. Yep.
I don't have much on the tag match. I just want to say New Day and Usos are like wrestling soulmates.
They are.
They said they worked 42 or 44 matches.
44 matches
prior. I told Rhodesia, I'm like, man, I bet it would be so much fun if they were still doing house shows. Can't do it, of course, because you basically then be spitting in the face of the fans. But they have worked so much together. I am sure they could work a match and just flip-flop tag partners, right? Like Jay takes Kofi, Jimmy takes X. And like they work a match. I bet you they know spots. They know each other so well. They know where they're going to be at. They know what's next. I would love just to see that like off the whim. Hey, y'all can't talk about it backstage at all. Go out there and work a match. Just flip one person on the other team and just go to work.
You know, that's super beautiful. They kind of mentioned something like that on commentary about how well they know each other. And you have twins in Jimmy and Jay, and then a lot of it, they say twins have these connections and you don't even have to say things. They can feel it. They can, all that other stuff. They use other senses. And to be able to capture that with somebody else in another tag team, that is really like divine intervention there. So when you say soulmates, like whatever they are, they were just meant to be each other's yin to yang. They were just always just meant to be together. They call them soul brothers, soul partners. They were just always meant to be together. Again, I'm telling you, I still feel the same about Jay being in the tag team. But if you can still get some yeeting, you get some excitement from them, you can reinvigorate this tag team division, make it meaningful. Because I would think that everybody would have agreed that since Triple H has been head booker, head writer, or head of creative, that his tag team division, which he had been known good at in NXT to be, like, isn't really there now. And I think this needs to be what it takes to get a really good, meaningful male tag team division in WWE.
It's going to help, depending on what the storyline part is, right? Like either we could see them winning the championship, or we could see them getting a title shot and losing, and then now there's like some rift between Jimmy and Jay. But regardless, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I also wanted to bring up Ivey Nile. I'm super high on Ivey Nile. I want them to figure her out sooner rather than later. Every week she has a different look. And I know they're probably trying to figure out what look works the best for her. But she's got a lot actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I think they're just trying to figure it out who she is. I think she's probably trying to figure it out too. But I really enjoyed her and Maxxine. Maxxine worked her ass off in that match.
She really did. She really did. And it's something because it's gimmicky that you've been in I was called the torture. Was Natty call her training?
The dungeon.
The torture. The dungeon. And it's gimmicky. Hey, you've been in the dungeon for the last 2 months and you putting in work, and it doesn't necessarily makes you a better wrestler. But hell yes, it does. I mean, like, and she has confidence behind it too. So that's another part of it. In sports, I'm gonna call this sports, 90% is mental. So if you can be mentally confident in what you're doing in the ring too, that's gonna go a long way. But just watching Maxxine wrestle, I'm like, now when we get into the whole Becky and Maxxine again, that's gonna be even better. Because the first time they danced was really good. Now seeing this side of Maxxine making it more believable to be a champion and not just a fluke win. Everybody can do it. It's a cute story. But like, I'm liking this on her. And being in the dungeon, a shout out to Natty, you can see it. You can absolutely see it. It is not just a gimmick. You can actually see it.
It's funny too because they talked about the Natty gimmick being Natty on WWE TV. So we haven't really seen her in live action yet. We've only seen the 2 vignette promos and then this match. But she got herself over, which is fantastic. They said that higher ups loved what they saw from social media and her working those indie dates, and I wanted to bring that character onto WWE TV. So all I mean is that's got to be the frustrating part too about wrestling is if they don't write it for you.
Yeah,
you just got to play your part. You look at somebody like Maxxine, and she's gotten so much better in the ring than I think 2 years ago. She had a house show match or something, remember? And she was really getting clowned about how the match was.
And we were critical.
That's a long time ago. Yeah, that was a long time ago. But I was just watching her, like, she fired up and she had her comeback on Raw. And I'm like, that's part of the story. Yeah, now you got to execute. But if her story is just to be the cheerleader out there for Tozawa and Otis, you never get that from her at all. And it's like, oh, she's doing a really nice job right now. So but that's got to be the frustrating part. Same thing we talked about with Naomi Trinity, being able to get this moment of turning heel was like all she was Fill the Glow girl before, and not maybe being put in opportunities to really show what she can do. And it's like, I have this in me. I can go. I can do all of this.
Yeah.
I can show range. But it's like, well, we don't need you for that. Like, your character doesn't dictate that. So we only need you for this. But to have that in you and still not be able to show it, I guess that's when your numbers call, you got to maximize it, right?
It's mind fuck for sure. Because like you said, how do you handle that? How do you process that? When we talked about this a couple weeks ago with big guys that can wrestle like small guys, but that's not your job. Your job is to go in there and work as a big guy. Raquel, your job is to go in there and work as a big woman.
What a knot.
Woo!
My God.
I don't even remember where it came from.
Nikki threw her into the steps.
Oh.
Same steps that bit Jade, where she got that cut across her eye.
Or I thought it was her nose, but okay.
No, it's across her eye.
Oh, her eyebrow. Yep.
Yeah,
She rocks it too. I like it though. Her war wound.
Steps. Call Raquel. Big knot. Raquel's cutting a promo and she just shows and she's got a knot sitting like that.
I'm like, UFC.
Like,
those are some UFC knots right there.
Big time.
For sure.
Big time. So shout out to her. Shout out to Thea Hail too. For knocking the wind out of Blake Monroe and win the championship where it wasn't planned.
Shoot.
On NXT. Yeah.
For real?
100%. So when I watched it, I was like, okay, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. And it was not supposed to happen. So if you didn't see NXT, Thea Hail and Blake Monroe wrestled for the NXT North American Championship. There's a spot where Thea kind of does it's very similar to like Darby's coffin drop, right? Where he just jumps behind him. She did off the ropes and she got all of it. I mean, she got all of it on Blake Monroe. And if you've ever played sports, and maybe you haven't played sports, I don't know how else you would have gotten the wind knocked out of you if you hadn't played sports, but anybody who's ever gotten the wind knocked out of them knows what it looks like when somebody gets the wind knocked out of them. Blake got the wind knocked out of her. So they hit the spot. She hit high. So I thought the spot was going to be, and maybe this was the original spot, where Thea jumps, does the move, and then Blake rolls her up. Because when Thea hit the move, her shoulders was almost already on the mat. So I thought that was going to be the end of it, right? And Blake hits her to 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So Thea hits the spot, and she kind of like gets up to get on her shoulders, but then she goes for the pin. And why I do love WWE and NXT, they are taught as referees, call it as a shoot. And I love that because I've come on here plenty of times, I've talked about when it's not.
2
a lot of times, yeah, man, and it's like, it's not 2 3/4, it's like 3.5. And the referee doesn't count, right? And then you completely lose yourself. And what I respected was, this is a championship match. And the ref counted 3. And then Blake barely kicks out after 3. And then they play Blake's music. They cut it off.
Wait, stop.
And there's conversation. You know, ref is talking to the 2 girls, and then they go grab the title, give it to Thea, and then Thea's music plays.
Let's go.
But yeah, so none of that was planned.
She made her own path, okay?
And
so key is knock the wind out of somebody. You win. You win.
Go into business for yourself, pal. And it was cool because they did a tremendous job. Like they rewrote it on the fly, because there was a promo segment after that with Thea, with Jordan, with Blake. That wasn't the plan. We'll see what they do. Of course, I'm sure they'll probably flip the title right back on Blake. I think they're recording 2 shows, I think, this week, so everybody can have Christmas off.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm sure, Thea's dropping it, but give me that anytime, opposed to the referee does the 1, 2, and then holds their hand and nobody kicks out, and now you're just like, oh my God, you just killed everything.
Yeah.
So ref did what they were supposed to do, and it's just so funny, people who just try to use inside terms and have no idea what they're looking at. Somebody on X was just like, the referee botched this. It's like, okay, well, thanks for letting everybody know you don't know what you're looking for and what you're looking at. Ref didn't. Ref did their job.
Okay, let's say, what's the botch part?
The botch is the ref
the winner didn't win?
Count 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The ref wasn't, because that wasn't the end.
Yeah, well,
that's not on the ref.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not on the ref. But yeah, good. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I was like, look at that. That was crazy. I tell you one thing that I don't like, though. It made sense for Thea because it was a shoot, but I've seen it like 3 times over the last week, and to me, it's overdone. Like after somebody wins the "I can't believe I won" face.
Yeah,
they got to pull back on that. Kendall Gray hit it on NXT. Thea hit it. It was somebody else. Leon Slater hit it. He's the #1 contender now. He's going against Oba for New Year's Evil in January. And somebody else hit it on them, like the main roster. Or
you don't think they mean it, though?
AEW.
You don't think that they legit, that is their raw emotions in that moment? You think that they've turned that up?
Well, no, because you know you're winning.
Oh, that's fair.
That's good for the complete underdog. Everybody can't be an underdog, though. If you're surprised you won, why am I going to get behind you? I'm good.
So then could it also be, because would you mention, I know you said only 1 possibly on the main roster, but could it be just part of the development? Like they're saying, hey, you need to have more facials. So that's how they go to it?
I don't think they're doing it on their own. I think that's what they're told. Like, hey, this is the reaction when you win. And I'm just telling them, pull back from that. Just like, and they've done a much better job of this, pulling back of the shock face when somebody kicks out at 2 3/4. Mm-hmm. And then they shoot to the person, they're completely shocked. It's like, you've never won off that move. Why would you think you went off that move now? That was prevalent in wrestling a few years ago.
As John Cena shows, you can. And you could be surprised that the person didn't kick out. Absolutely.
You still bring it
up. If we
tapping
prematurely, okay.
If we tapping, you yapping. I wanted to bring up one more story, and then I'll throw it to you if you got anything. So yesterday on X, somebody had posted about Sid, and it was just a shot. I don't think I ever shared this story. I know I shared the story about security telling me to come into the ring. If I could take them down, I'll get a job. I think I probably even told the story about taking a photo like backstage of Sid, and he just looked at me. And I was like, man, I think he's about to destroy me. And he was cool about it. But yeah, so basically it was just somebody just screen grabbed about Sid coming to the ring and how he would get, hyped up doing the fist pump. You who's the man? And he really lost himself in this one. And he damn near was like smacking people while he was doing it. But this show I was at.
Wait. He would fist bump people when they come out? When
Yeah,
he came out?
in the crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his thing.
Okay.
Like, you fist bump him and then, who's the man? You the man. Who's the man? You the man.
Okay.
And this one, he was like slapping people's hands. It's like,
Ooh.
Sid, dude, you're big, man. Stop. But I don't think I ever told this story on the podcast. So we are at this show, and the Dudley Boys, who are known to like start riots at ECW shows, was working. I forgot who they were working. And there was a spot where either they brawl, I can't remember. Either they brawl through the crowd or they were right up against the railing outside. And we were right on the floor. I think we were like basically like front row. It was some people that I was with, and this is the first time I met them. And I met them through, it was like a wrestling community. I talked about like the 438s, where you like, all it was answer machines, but back then it was like our wrestling hotlines, right? It was one guy called the Mighty King Slayer. And that was his name. It was the Mighty King Slayer. All right, that was him.
Was he big?
So we hadn't, yeah, of course.
Okay.
But we didn't see each other, right? These are like answer machines. So until you meet somebody, you have no idea how they look. When you see Slayer, oh, that's Mighty King Slayer right there. Right? Like, okay, Mighty King Slayer. Big bro hug, do the whole thing. So we at the show having a good time. And Dudley's, I think they may have been brawling in the crowd. I can't remember. This is the part of the story I can't remember. But they somehow get into it with the Mighty King Slayer.
Oh, God.
And the Mighty King Slayer ain't backing down. And we know Bubba Ray and Devon not backing down.
Yeah, them wild
This
boys.
is what the Dudleys are known for.
Yeah.
It's on. It's like shoot on now.
Are you on by association?
You said what?
Are you on by association?
Oh, I'm not on by association because I know the rules of engagement at this point, right? It's on. It is literal. It's fighting now. Security comes about 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later.
Yo, that's a long time.
They tell Mighty King Slayer, come to the back.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to the back because I don't know if this is about to be a kick out session or what. Because I think this is a separate show where I got Bill Alfonso to cut the promo for me after the show. So these are separate shows. This wasn't a show where the security told me to come into the ring, and if I could take one of them down, I got a job. I was like, if I cross this barricade, I'm getting my head taken off. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have size on me at that time. Like, that was 99, I think. 98, 99, like, skinny as could be. So they come back, and I know, so I didn't go backstage with them, but I do remember Bubba and Devon like giving the guys play, like, you good? Hey, you good? You good? And it was like all love. I didn't go back with him, so I don't know how I saw that, because of course I wasn't on camera or anything. So I don't know if where we were standing, or if I went to the back, I just didn't go back there, or what it was. But it was kind of like all love, right? And I'm sure that wouldn't have. Now that's lost. That's an easy lawsuit, of course, from the spectator to the company.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure they just went back there, smoothed it out, and all that kind of good stuff. But it was funny because after that, I was like, yo, Mighty King Slayer is a wild boy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, man, like, we gotta, he's like, hey, we gotta, exchange numbers. I was like, no problem, man. Like, just give me your number, write your number down, and like, we'll hook up. So he writes his phone number down, gives it to me. And of course, I'm not looking right at it. Like, what am I doing? I get home, open up the piece of paper, phone number is on there. I thought I would have, like, seen his real name. No, he just put Slayer.
Yo, fire. He just stood toe to toe with Bubba Ray and Devon.
I'd never call Slater. Never called him. If you can't give me your real name, You're not in the business.
So that tells me that we could probably do some Google searches on him now. Because if you went by that back then, and he stood up to Bubba Ray and Divine, he probably still goes by that moniker.
He used to hit it too. This is the mighty King Slayer. That's what he used to say. So last thing for me is AEW. Winter is coming. For me, it wasn't much on that card that I was like, I gotta watch. Winter is Coming is typically a really good show from AEW, and I thought it was one of their best produced shows in a very, very long time. Top to bottom, everything was great. And Kyle Fletcher and Speedball Mike Bailey, that match is why you fall in love and you love AEW. Yes, they took some crazy shots that they didn't need to, but not once did those spots that they did took me out of the match because it made sense in the match. There wasn't like you know what I mean? Like there wasn't like, okay, why'd you do that for not even a pin attempt or anything like that? So yeah, it was some dangerous stuff they did, but that was a match of the year candidate.
Nice.
I know, Rhodesia, you didn't watch it. You got to go back and watch that match. That match was tremendous, and that was a tournament match. So I think, I'm not sure if they're both working tonight again or next week, but very, very good show. I just wanted to shout that out. I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. There was a lot of good wrestling on TV over the last week and a half.
Good wrestling has never been a problem.
Yep. What you got? You got anything?
My only thing, and this is a one-liner, Obafemi is a fucking problem.
We didn't even talk about Saturday's main event.
But no, but that's okay. But that's okay. That's okay though, because we knew what that was about. We knew what Saturday Night Main Event was about. But Obafemi is a fucking problem. And
that, everybody is funny, right? You're on either you live long enough to be the villain or whatever that line is. But so for me, I had told anybody who will listen,
or saved.
You're not getting Obafemi beating Cody Rhodes. It's not happening on Saturday Night's Main Event. So X blew up after the match. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. You could not have thought. So the same way I say that, somebody would say to me, Matt, you could not have thought John Cena was going to win or not tap out to Gunther in his last match. Of course he's tapping. He never gives up. Of course he's going to give up in his last match. But it did what it needed to do, man. Obafemi is such a bigger name right now than he was this time last week. Mission accomplished. He held his own with Cody on SmackDown in that promo segment, more than held his own on Saturday Night's Main Event. I think they got 8 or 9 minutes. They maximized that time. They shot him incredibly well. They gave him the Andre treatment where they are damn near on their knees, the cameras on the ground to shoot up to make him look larger than life. The lights, visuals. The crowd was there for him. That was awesome. I really enjoyed Sol Ruca and Bailey. Sol Ruca made a name for herself. For anybody who does not know who she was, mission accomplished. Leon and Javon, mission accomplished. Yeah, they didn't win. I don't think anybody thought they would win the tag titles, but really fast pace. I think they got 6 minutes and they threw it all against the wall in those 6 minutes with AJ and Dragon Lee. That was mission accomplished. I thought overall, take out, of course, the finish for me and how it was done. As excited as I was for Saturday Night's Main Event, it more than lived up to it with what we got.
Yeah, it was what I had expected, which it was. I didn't have super high expectations. It was still a really great. I didn't want it to sound like that. That sounded pretty bad. It was a great show. Saturday Night's Main Event was a great show, minus the finish with John Cena. But
I'm just so happy you know how to say it now. That is really cool.
I actually had to think about it.
I know
too.
You did. I saw it.
Yeah, but you would either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah, that's me talking about John Cena's tap out.
Wait, I gotta say this. This is the 2 days ago, Rhodesia. John Cena is the biggest heel ever. Now I've gone from that, and I don't feel as drastic about that. But I said in that moment, before I went to sleep, I said John Cena is the biggest heel of entirety.
You gonna tell the people why you feel like John Cena's a heel?
Yeah, because he tapped out.
Or you just gonna say your one line and then assume
people
understand? You don't get
If everybody
context.
else is assuming, oh, why he tapped and how he tapped and the poeticness of his tapping, then people can just interpret with whatever they want to out of what I just said.
Hmm.
It sounds like your motorcycles are driving.
They are motorcycles out here. I got the window open. I'm getting a ton of natural sunlight, which is fantastic. But yeah, they do it big out here. There's been a few times where I was like, that probably got picked up on camera, but it didn't. That one didn't though.
That one absolutely did.
Absolutely did.
Time to go.
We are heading out to go see the Nutcracker Symphony tonight. So little Matt was like, I'm good.
Heels.
He's like, I'm good.
Yeah,
Like,
he
I
is,
understand
you know,
that. I wouldn't want to see that at the ripe age of 18 either. But I've never been to like, of course, to see the Nutcracker or any type of ballet. So to be able to see it like a week before Christmas here in Spain, I thought was pretty cool. So we got tickets for that. So that should be fun to see. And then,
and for
man,
the fans of the show that knew us in the beginning, I get to put on my stilettos tonight. I'm so happy, so excited.
Chafe and roll.
Hold on, let me think about my outfit.
Stilettos.
Ooh, I might be chafing again. Chafing.
I like chafe and roll. Chafe and roll is fantastic.
No, because he said I sound like Chaperone. That's what he was saying. Chaperone. Yeah, that's what you call it, the singer.
All right, y'all. We are out of here. Social medias, y'all know where we are. Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube. Like I said, support. Appreciate y'all. Why are you so close into the camera right now?
Because I'm excited.
Oh my God. Let's go, man. We out, y'all. Peace. Jesus.